Hello, everyone. How are you today? Look it, there's already people on here. Awesome. Okay, so if you could just let me know that you can see and hear me, that would be amazing. I'm just going to bring up the chat room. All right. So yeah, if you could just let me know that you can see and hear me, and then I'll start to get into some of the preliminary preamble. Good morning. So you saw me there, that's awesome. So just a couple of people have asked me in prior recordings if I can see you. Good morning, Karen. Hi, Beverly. Perfect. I can't see you. So this isn't a meeting. I've purposely done it as a webinar just because I think it's more comfortable for participants. I know I've been on online yoga classes and it's really nice sometimes when it feels like you're all in the room together, but I know for other people that just feels a bit invasive. So this is how I've chose to do it. So yes, if you choose to write your name on the side, I know you're here, but nobody can see you. That helps. Today is slow and it's a slow flow. And I said that because it's what I need. So I typically tap into what I need in hopes that it's what you need. At the end of the day, you get to design your practice the way you want, which means that you can ramp it up or bring it down or do whatever feels best for you in your heart today. Every day that we walk onto our yoga mat, we are a different person. We are a different version of ourselves. And it's really important that we honor the person who shows up today. So although it's great to strive and, you know, we all have goals when it comes to our physicalness often. But my primary always is to never jeopardize you so that you are in your strive to hit a goal. So meaning the only way that we're really going to hurt ourselves in yoga is when we stop listening to ourselves and we start listening to a voice that's outside of ourselves. So please listen to what you need today and modify. I am leading this as a level 1 class, which in my mind just means that it's really open to everybody, but I am going to do my best to give you really as much description and prompts and modifications and information as possible so that you can really sink into your practice. And no matter where we are in the spectrum of our yoga practice, we can always deepen our poses. We can always become more conscious. We can always reach higher or ground down more fully or hear things in a way that we've not been able to hear them before. At least that's my experience for myself. So that's what I am striving to do today. What else did I want to say? Oh, props. I know most of us don't actually have typical props other than a yoga mat, which if you have a yoga mat, that's great. I always encourage you to do so. If you have yoga blocks, fabulous. Let me just gather up some of my accoutrements here. So yes, I have traditional yoga blocks. That's a nice luxury to have. If you don't have yoga blocks, I'm sure you have some books or some tin cans or something. What you want to do is just make sure they're about the same height. Here's 2 books that work perfectly. The best thing really about a block is that it creates elevation so that if your back body is tight in any way, shape, or form, it allows you to be able to get more fully into a pose without necessarily having that length yet. And I think sometimes using a block or using something to bring the ground up to me is what feels the best in the moment. So I want you to listen to that. I'm not actually going to be calling out for any yoga straps today, but we are going to be doing a couple things where we're reaching for our feet and so on. So again, if you feel tight, really tight in the back of your body, or you're really supporting a strained low back, or you have a tendency to have that, either you reach just as far as you can and you grab onto whatever you can grab onto, or you use a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can always use a housecoat tie or a long belt and whatever you just want to do. Can you even see that? You just want to strap it over your foot, and that way you get the length of your arms and the length of the strap to bring that part of your body towards you. Last thing that I would recommend is a folded blanket. or a towel. And that's for a couple reasons. One is it's a great prop to sit on to allow your pelvis to get ahead of your sitting bones, which reduces pressure on the lower back. It also is, of course, really nice to cover yourself with in Shavasana or at the beginning of your practice. And it's just a great prop to have around. So also nice to be able to put underneath your knees when we are down on our hands and knees, especially if you have sensitive knees. All right, so let me see what time it is. We're almost ready to begin. Yeah, we have a couple more minutes. So if anyone has any questions, you can privately message me on the chat bar, or you can just ask it. I know a few people have messaged me in the comments or sent me emails before, and we've had a good discussion around things. So I'm always open for that. The difficulty, of course, the obvious is when we are in these situations is that I don't have the luxury of supporting you in the best way possible. Of course, I can't come around and help you more fully sink into your pose or shift it a little bit to be more in alignment with your own body mechanics or whatnot. So I'll have to use my own voice to try and lead you. And, you know, if all else fails, you get to do the practice that you're here for today. Try and tune into what my voice is saying and tune into yours at the same time. All right? Fantastic. All right, so let me just create some space here. I am not going to be putting on any music in the background, but you are, of course, welcome to do that. And this will make sure that I'm not competing with anybody's voice. And if you'd like to just start, I would recommend that you lie back on your yoga mat. Mine has a dog toy on it already. Lie back on your yoga mat, lie on your back, and just stretch yourself out as if you're going into Shavasana, into corpse pose. So lying on your back, right leg to the right corner of the lower part of your mat, left leg to the left, softening your legs and your hips and opening up your toes to either side of your mat, doing a real gentle tuck of your shoulder blades, putting your head in neutral position in alignment with your spine, taking up lots of room with your arms, tucking your shoulder blades in and opening your palms to the ceiling. Option to take one hand to your lower belly and the other hand to your heart, and start to regulate your breath. Softly breathing in and out through your nose. Letting yourself arrive in your space. If you're just coming into the yoga class right now, I'm encouraging you to start on your back, lie all the way down onto your back body, coming into Shavasana. Softening your energy, closing your eyes. Sending yourself a little bit of love and appreciation this morning. Giving your heart what you need today. Starting to consciously breathe a little more fully into your belly. it's not there already, placing the palm of your right hand on your lower belly. Elbow resting on the ground. And feeling your inspiration go all the way down into your right palm. And your expiration softly and slowly rise all the way up through the chest and exhale through your nose. Five more cycles of breath. Not forcing anything, just allowing. 2 more breaths. Slowly start to wake your body up. Moving your wrists. Bringing your arms over top of your face. Rotating your wrists in both directions. Pointing and flexing your feet. Circling your ankles. Interlacing your hands and stretching them out above your head. Reaching towards the top of your mat. Zipping your legs up together, pressing out through the balls of your feet. Inhaling and exhaling through your mouth. One more time, taking a deep inhale through your nose, pressing out through your toes, pressing through the palms of your hands above your head, and exhaling through your mouth. Bringing your hands over top of your face, having your palms just reaching, facing each other. Now flipping your palms towards the ceiling, as if your hands are standing on the ceiling, pressing your palms, flexing your wrists, letting your shoulder blades widen as you press your hands up towards the sky. Relaxing your wrist, flexing your wrist, bringing your fingertips, pointing them towards your toes. Inhale, flipping your palms towards the ceiling, widening your fingers, pressing your palms as if you're stepping and pushing onto the ceiling, widening through the shoulder blades, exhaling and release. Flexing your palms, bending your wrists, fingertips towards your feet. One more time. Inhaling, opening up your palms, fingertips pointing towards your head, pressing into your palms, and exhale, releasing your hands. Shaking out your palms and your hands just a little bit. Inhaling your right knee, followed by your left into your chest. Softly bringing your knees towards your armpits, lengthening your tailbone towards the floor. Breathing deep into your belly. eyes closed. One more deep breath. And exhale, squeezing your knees in, inhaling your chin and your forehead towards your knees, letting your hips rock up just a little bit off the ground, squeezing in and exhaling, letting your head release back to the mat, softening your legs. One more time, squeezing your knees in, lifting your chin and your forehead, pressing them towards your knees, squeezing into a tight ball. Exhale, releasing your head back down towards the ground, releasing both of your soles of your feet towards the ground. Inhaling your right knee back into your chest. Exhale, pressing your legs straight, heel towards the ceiling, and reaching towards anything that you can hold on to. So whether that's the back of your thigh, the back of your calf, or maybe you're one of those people who can reach all the way up towards your foot, flexing your foot as if your foot is standing on the ceiling, plugging your right femur, your right thigh bone into the ground. So doing your best to keep your heel over top of your hip joint. And if you need to do it with a slightly bent leg, that's totally fine. So pressing your heel towards the ceiling, pressing your thigh or your calf into your hand, breathing deep, making sure your shoulders and your head remain on the ground. And if you have the space, walking your left foot out any amount or all the way straight, flexing your left foot. Breathing deeply into your back body. Pressing through the heel of your right foot. And starting to draw circles with your toes, circling your ankle in both directions. Let it be slow. Pause, reverse direction. Still your foot. Potentially walk your hands up a little bit further up your leg, drawing your toes towards your face, any amount. Keeping your sitting bones on the ground. Breathing deep. Reaching up with your right hand, holding on to whatever you can hold on to. On the inside of your right thigh, the inside of your right calf, or the inside of your foot, and gently place your left hand on your left hip to anchor your left hip into the ground, and slowly let your right leg open up any amount to the right hand side. Pressing through the heel, making it be active. Feeling the scissoring action between both your legs. So not letting your leg flop out to the side, as much as actively engaging your inner thigh muscles. Your left leg pressing actively into the ground, or the sole of your foot actively into the ground, and your right leg hugging in while you're allowing it to release out to the right. 2 more breaths. Relaxing your jaw, softening your face. Inhale, bringing your heel up to center, switching the grip, bringing your left hand to the outside of your right leg, placing your right hand out to the side and crossing your right leg over your left any amount. Flexing your right foot as if you're standing on the ceiling. That'll activate all your lower leg muscles. Breathing deep. And instead of shying away from the tightness and the tension that you feel, just lovingly send some of your breath in that direction. Two more breaths. Inhaling your leg back up to center and bending your knee and bringing it into the chest. Squeezing it in all the way to the right armpit. Flexing your foot and bending your knee, bringing your legs to 90 degrees. So you're going to do a half happy baby, reaching up with your right hand if possible and holding on to the outside of your right foot. If you can't reach the outside of your right foot, just hold on to your ankle or your thigh, holding onto your foot, pressing your hand into your foot into your hand. Open up your right hip and bring your right knee towards your right armpit. So at the same time that you're hugging your knee in, you're pressing up with your foot into your hand. Breathing deep. If you haven't done it already, bending your left knee, placing the sole of your left foot on the ground, and releasing your right hand off your right foot, placing your right ankle over top of your left knee into figure 4. Reaching through with both your hands to the back of your left thigh and gently pulling your left knee towards your chest and gently opening up your right inner thigh with your right elbow. Checking in and making sure that there's no tension translating into your face or your neck. Tucking your chin in just a little bit so that your neck is in alignment with the rest of your spine. And releasing your left leg to the floor and placing your right foot on the floor. Inhaling your left knee in and pressing your left heel towards the sky, like we did on the other side. And reaching up and taking hold of whatever part of your left leg that you're able to do. Back of your left thigh, back of your left calf, maybe even all the way up to your foot. Flexing your left foot as if you're standing on the ceiling. And plugging your left leg bone, the thigh, all the way into your left hip joint. Option to extend your right leg long. Pressing your right heel into the mat, flexing your right foot. Sending your breath all the way down into your belly. As you're pressing your heel towards the sky and the back of your leg into your hands. And if you can, any amount, start to walk your hands up a little bit higher up your leg, keeping your shoulders and your neck on the ground, and drawing your toes closer to your face. Continue to press out through your right heel if your leg is long, keeping your hips nice and balanced. Reaching for the inner left thigh with your left hand or the inner left calf, placing your right hand on your right hip, keeping your right hip solidly into the ground. Open up your left leg to the left-hand side. So again, feeling the action between your left thigh drawing in and opening up at the same time. So it's an active movement. Doing your best to keep your right hip on the ground. And finding the balance between effort and ease. One more breath. Drawing your left leg in, switching hands, placing your right hand on the outside of your left thigh or your left knee or your left calf, and let your left leg cross over your body. Bring your left hand out to the left-hand side, use it as an anchor, and flex through both your feet. So pressing through the heel, keeping your foot active. And in most cases, you're going to feel this stretch happening all the way down through the fascia and the soft tissue of your left foot, all the way through the outer left calf, and maybe up towards your IT band on the left-hand side. Do your best. I know most of us don't have straps, so just meet your body wherever you are. Do what you can, modify where it's necessary, and intensify it if that's what feels good to you. Inhale back to center, bending your left knee, coming into half happy baby. So reaching through, holding on to the outside of the left foot, bending your knee to 90 degrees, and doing your best to press your left foot into your hand into your foot, drawing your left knee closer to your armpit. So option to bend your right leg and place the sole of your foot on the ground, or continue to have it outstretched, reaching to the back end of your mat. Breathing deeply into your belly. If you haven't bent your right leg already, bend your right leg, place the sole of your foot on the ground, and exhale, releasing your left ankle to your right thigh. And inhale, reach through, holding onto the back of your calf, or back of your thigh rather, and gently drawing your right knee towards your chest. Opening up your left knee with your left elbow. Relaxing your face. Gentle tuck of your chin. Reaching out through the crown of your head, and lengthening all the way to the tip of your tailbone. Sending your breath all the way to your belly, keeping your belly nice and soft. Releasing your right foot to the mat and unwinding everything, placing both of your feet underneath your knees, coming into a gentle bridge. So placing both your heels hip distance apart, drawing them closer to your sitting bones, placing both your hands on either side of your body, palms down, inhaling, taking a big press down into your feet and drawing your hips up into a baby bridge. No need to interlace your hands underneath you. Start to press down a little bit further into your feet, lifting your hips just a little more. And exhale, allow your body to come all the way down to the ground, one vertebrae at a time. As soon as your sacrum touches the ground, inhaling deeply, exhaling, pressing into your feet, lifting your hips even higher, and drawing both your hands up over top of your head, and reaching through your fingertips over your head while you're pressing your feet into the ground and rising your hips to the sky. As you exhale, releasing it down towards the ground, float your hands all the way back and all the way down to the ground. When you hit the ground one more time, deep inhale, exhale, press your feet into the ground, raise your hips, float your arms up over top of your head, fingers apart, spreading through your fingers. Raise a little bit higher and exhale, bring your hips all the way down and bring your hands all the way back down on either side. Rolling onto your right hand side, bringing your knees into your chest, place your hands underneath, place your right arm underneath your head and just taking a moment to rest, eyes closed. Opening your eyes, pressing down into your left palm, rising up, and coming into tabletop position at the front of your mat. So if you haven't done so already, taking your blocks and just placing them on either side of the front of your mat, or whatever your blocks are, and coming into tabletop. So if this is uncomfortable on your knees, here's your blanket underneath your knees. So your wrists and your fingers are directly underneath your shoulders. Your legs are hip distance apart, and pressing your shins of both legs down into the ground, Going to cat and cow, so releasing your belly to the ground. Inhaling, looking forward, broadening through the collarbones. And exhaling, pressing into your hands, tucking your chin in, belly button to spine, separating through your shoulder blades. One more time, keep going. Dropping your belly, looking up any amount. Exhale, pressing down, articulating through each one of your vertebrae. Belly button to spine, chin to chest. And back and forth at your own pace. Inhaling as you drop your belly, exhaling as you round out through your back. Allowing it to be more dynamic if that's what feels good to you. So bending your elbows, looking up and floating backwards, pressing through your palms. 3 more rounds. Closing your eyes. One more breath. Coming to neutral, making sure that your hands are exactly where they need to be as well as your foot. Raising your right knee with your knee bent to hip height. So flex your right foot as if you're standing on the ceiling and allowing your knee to come down towards the ground. And as soon as it comes to the ground, raising it back up to hip height. Back and forth, making sure that you're not swaying your hips. You're not doing a whole bunch of activity with your upper body. Keeping everything from the waist up, nice and solid. And raising your knee up and lowering it back down to the ground. So squeezing through your right butt as you raise it up and in a slow and controlled fashion, bringing it back down to the ground. So waking up our back body, waking up our pelvis, and keep going right down. As soon as your knee taps the ground, come right back up. Feeling the power through the back of your body, using your right glute and your left glute to stabilize. Doing your best to keep your body centered over both of your hands. 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more, and bring it back down. And opening it directly to the side, option to go up into your right fingertips if that feels better. So like a fire hydrant, bring your right leg up at 90 degrees to hip height. So just take a peek at me, hopefully you can see me, releasing it back down, touching your left inner knee, and right back up. Keep going. Squeezing at the top. I know a lot of times we don't like to do these activities because they hurt, but they're super important. This is how we get strength and stability in our lower back and in our pelvis. It's what we need. And even though we are tensing the muscles of the pelvis, this is actually an active release, a way to release tension from your hips. So it's important. 3 more, and 2, and 1. Hold it up. Now I want you to straighten your leg, bringing your right heel out to the right-hand side. Straighten and bend. Keep your leg up for 5, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release your knees, come all the way back, sitting your pelvis all the way back to your ankles, and resting your head back in child's pose. So this is child's pose. If you've done any yoga, you know it well. I know it's my favorite posture. 2 ways to do child's pose, lots of ways to do child's pose. My 2 favorite ways are to keep your knees apart and your feet together. And allowing your body to rest between your knees gives your lower back a nice big opening. And it feels really good to just rock from side to side as you get going. Keep on going. Hold on, minor technical difficulty here. All right, I think it's okay. Aren't you lucky you got to hold yourself in child's pose instead of something else? One more deep breath in. Rising forward, coming to hands and knees again, setting up properly, pressing into your right shin, and inhaling your left leg up to 90 degrees. So coming back into the starting position, as if your left foot is pressing onto the ceiling, and you're going to release your knee back down to the ground. As soon as it touches the ground, inhale, press it back up to hip height, and back and forth. So finding your stability, this is a full functional exercise. Everything from the pelvis up is fully still as best you can. Keeping your hips level to the ground, squeezing your left glute and the back of your left thigh as you raise it up. You shouldn't feel any crunching or pressure into your lower back. And if you do, decrease the range of motion of the movement. We do 6 more, 5, 4, make them good, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it all the way down and inhale, bring your left knee out to the left-hand side. Option to come up onto your left fingertips. So squeezing, keeping your knee at 90 degrees and releasing it down. As soon as it touches your right inner thigh, inhale it back up and down. Half fire hydrants on the left-hand side. Squeezing your hips, squeezing your glutes, and if you don't know how to do it, just squeeze whatever you can around your butt. Keep going. And 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up. And now you're going to press out through your heel, straight out to the side for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your leg back, knees apart, and release all the way back into child's pose. Let your hips just rock from side to side. And before I get interrupted by my own technology, the second way that I like to do child's pose is sometimes to keep my knees together and my feet together, and that shifts the stretch more between my shoulder blades. And when my arms are fatigued and I feel like my arms and shoulders have done too much work, then I walk my hands back on either side of my feet and release my head either to the ground or to a block or any type of prop. Inhale, coming back up into child's pose, setting up your upper body for our first downward facing dog. So let's get this one right, because this is a foundational pose for everything that we do into the future. So taking a peek down, making sure our wrist creases are parallel with the front of the mat. Each one of your fingers is spread wide apart, and you create a bit of a suction in your palms. So although your fingers and your knuckles are down, it's almost like there's a little puff of air that happens on your palm. And if that's not something that's developed, just check in with that as best you can. And over time, as you start to seat more fully into your downward facing dog, you'll see that start to happen. Your feet are hip distance apart. Curl your toes. Inhale and exhale. Press into your heels, lifting your hips, coming into downward facing dog. So bending your knees, placing your left heel towards the ground, bending your right knee, and then switching right heel to the ground, bending your left knee. So keeping your knees nice and bent in downward facing dog. And although the ultimate goal is to have both legs relatively straight and your heels pressing towards the ground and being in a full V inverted shape, for most of us, we have a lot of tightness in our back body. So bending our knees is our way of establishing that. So pressing through so that there's one long line all the way from your fingertips to the top of your sitting bones. Releasing your head between your biceps. Exhaling, releasing your knees to the mat, coming back for one breath into child's pose. Inhaling to come forward, pressing back, tucking your toes, and coming back into downward facing dog. Stilling your dog. And at any point in this practice, if it feels like it's too much for you, release down onto your knees or down into child's pose. Inhaling, coming forward on your toes into plank. So waving all the way forward. Plank position can be on your toes and your palms like I'm doing, or you can release down to the mat. It's the same thing with your knees down. So pressing back through the heels, reaching forward to the crown of your head, tucking your belly button in a bit so that your pelvis is lifted, a slight doming action between your shoulder blades. 2 more breaths. Releasing your knees and coming down in one long line all the way to your belly. Placing your hands on either side, fingertips up, hands are off the mat, elbows towards the ceiling. Your feet are hip distance apart, pressing down into the top of your feet, pressing into the front of your pelvis. Inhaling all the way up, waving your body up. Head is the last to rise, and exhaling all the way back down to the ground. 2 more. Inhale, waving cobra, and exhale. Keep going. And exhale all the way down. Bring your hands into your shoulders. Press through hands and knees and come back into downward facing dog. Looking forward, walking your feet all the way to the front of your mat. Feet are hip distance apart. Bend your knees, release the crown of your head towards the ground into a standing forward fold. Breathing deep. Sending your breath all the way down into your back body, back your hips. And letting there be movement, rocking on your feet forward and back. When you're ready, walking your hands up your body, coming into a standing position. Head is the last to rise. Placing your hands on your hips. So parallel, having your hips parallel to the front of your mat, pressing down into your feet, all 4 corners, lifting through your inner arch, lifting your kneecaps, gently lengthening your tailbone towards the ground, tucking your chin, rising up through your crown in your version of Tadasana. Sweeping your arms up, inhaling, hands up, arms up, palms together. Exhale, floating all the way down into standing forward fold. Inhale into halfway lift, hands on your shins, or to blocks, or to the ground. Bending your knees so you're reaching back through your tailbone, one long line, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, arms up, hands up, palms together. Exhale to fold. Bending your knees as you fold into standing forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Let it be juicy. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to fold. Take up as much space as you'd like. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. All the way up. Exhale, fold one more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place both your hands down. Reach back with your right foot to the back of your mat. Release your right knee to the mat. Untuck your toes. Bring your blocks a little bit closer to either side of your body and rise up into Crescent Lunge in modified version. So rising up to the crown of your head, letting your left ankle be nice and soft, and gently pressing both hips forward to the mat. So your left knee can come closer, even surpass your left toes. Inhaling deeply. If you're like me, I like to have lots of lift. So I like to bring my blocks up nice and tall. And as you exhale, folding back, tucking your tailbone, belly button to spine, and let your left foot rise to the ceiling. And bend forward any amount over your left leg. This is called half Hanumanasana or half monkey god pose. I don't know why I remember that one of all the Sanskrit words. Using your blocks, even walking your blocks back if that feels more comfortable. Breathing deep. Doing your best to square your hips to the front of the mat. It's okay to bend your left knee if that's what feels more comfortable. Bringing your blocks in with you. Inhaling, coming forward back into the lunge. Pressing forward with your pelvis, rising through your crown. And exhaling, folding back over. Keep moving. Inhaling, coming forward. And then exhaling, rocking back, folding over your left leg. Inhaling one more time, come forward. Exhaling, pressing back, bending forward. Moving your blocks to the side, inhaling, coming forward, raising your arms up over top of your head, reaching up to your fingertips. Exhaling your hands back down on either side of your left leg and starting to walk your left foot outside of your left hand into lizard pose. So option to bring your right knee back a little bit more. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see me a little bit more. So left foot is on the outside of your left hand and tacking your inner left knee into your left elbow, opening up, letting your right hip and your left hip start to settle down towards the ground. An option to come down onto your blocks or onto your forearms, keeping your head in alignment with the rest of your spine and allowing a little bit of a rock from side to side. It's a deep stretch into your pelvis, lots of awakening. So doing your best to not open up one area and create tension somewhere else. And I know that sounds like a difficult thing to do sometimes, but when we feel tension in one place, we tend to translate tension somewhere else. So if you feel a lot of opening into your pelvis when you do this, and the first thing you do is grind your teeth or press into your jaw or squeeze all the muscle in your face, just be noticing of that and do your best to kind of release that. So walking your left hand on the outside of your left foot, walking your left foot in a little bit, pressing down into your palms, lifting up and coming back into downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to plank position, releasing your knees to the ground and lowering down in one long line. Hands up to the side, fingertips down, elbows up. Inhale, waving cobra. Exhale, coming back down. Pressing into your feet, rising up. Exhaling to fall. One more time. Pressing down through your hands, coming through tabletop to downward facing dog. Inhaling your right leg behind you. Exhale, bringing your right foot through to your right hand, releasing your left knee to the mat and untuck your toes. Drawing your blocks in on either side of you. Inhaling into modified crescent lunge, making sure that your feet are on train tracks. Breathing deep. If you're feeling any crunching or pressure in your lower back, just lifting lifting up so that you're not pressing down so much. So you shouldn't be feeling any tension through here in terms of lower back crunching. Exhale, pressing into your hands, hinging back into half Hanumanasana, bringing your right toes to the ceiling, folding over your right leg any amount. One more deep breath. Starting to move. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to hinge back. And keep going. Inhale into Crescent Lunge. Exhale into half monkey God pose. 2 more times at your own pace. Let it be juicy. Feeling the motion and the movement through the pelvis. Last time coming forward. Exhaling to come back, moving your blocks as you come forward this time. Inhaling your arms up and over top of your head, reaching up with your fingertips, pressing deeply into your left shin and knee. Exhale your hands down and walking your right foot outside of your right hand. So coming in to lizard pose on the right hand side, setting up for your version. So using any type of prop in front of you if it feels more comfortable to rise the ground towards you. And as you're ready, lower your body any amount equally on the right and left side. Feeling the stretch all the way down the left thigh, the left groin, and tacking your right knee inside to the outside of your right shoulder. Maybe swaying from side to side. One more breath. Coming back up onto your fingertips if you're on your forearms, removing your blocks from the side and walking your foot back inside your right foot. Tuck your left toes under, this time springing forward to the front of your mat. Inhaling to halfway lift, exhaling to fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, reach back with your right foot. This time, coming into a high lunge, having both of your feet on train tracks. So making sure they're hip distance apart. Inhaling all the way up, hands on your hips. Option to continue this going forward with your right knee on the mat like we just did. So pressing forward into your left knee, making sure your left knee is tracking forward and being on the ball of your right foot so that your heel is directly over top. Inhaling your arms up. Exhaling your hands to heart center, hinging forward and tacking your right elbow on the outside of your left knee. Pressing your palms together, opening up your chest to the left-hand side. So coming into a revolving opening, pressing back through the right heel, reaching forward with the right crown, opening your whole chest to the left-hand side. Feeling the strength of your legs. Inhale, coming back up, hands up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands down on either side, coming back into downward facing dog, floating forward to your version of plank. So releasing your knees to the mat and coming down into revolving or waving cobra, or coming down in one long line, rolling over your toes into upward facing dog. Exhale all the way back into downward facing dog. So 2 breaths. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, left leg right through to your left hand. Keeping your legs on train tracks. Inhale your body up to neutral. So having your right knee down or lifted. Centering your hips to the front of your mat. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hinging forward, tacking your elbow on the outside of your foot, revolving open. Am I on the wrong side again? How do I keep doing that? Whatever side you weren't on before is the side that you should be on right now. Inhaling back up to neutral. That's life. Inhaling your hands back up. Exhaling your hands back down, stepping back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, forward to plank, going through your vinyasa, or skipping the vinyasa and meeting us in downward facing dog. Exhale all the way back. And 2 breaths. If you're in child's pose, coming back up to downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, step to the front of your mat, into halfway lift, and exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up, arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, reach back with your right foot. Coming into warrior 2, left leg pressing forward, right heel on a 90-degree angle. Inhale all the way up. Opening up, hands to the side. Left hand forward, right hand back, releasing all the way to your shoulders. Taking a peek down at your left knee, just making sure it's tracking forward with your second and third toe. Pressing to the outer line of your right foot. Reversing your warrior, flipping your left palm, exhaling all the way back. So reaching back through the left palm, pressing forward into the left knee. Inhaling back to warrior two. Exhale, left knee to left arm to left knee. Inhale your right arm up and over top of your head. Pressing through your fingertips, revolving your body open on the right hand side. Inhale, coming back to warrior two. Exhale, wave your arms all the way down, stepping back to plank and going to your vinyasa. Releasing down, rising up into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, coming back into downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, place your right foot through to your right hand. Spin your left heel down on a 90-degree angle, getting your foundation right. Heel of your right foot to the arch of your back foot. Inhale your body up into warrior two on the other side. So relaxing down into the pose and then finding your strength. Going a little deeper. Reverse your warrior, flip your right palm, exhale it all the way back. Pressing through your right fingertips, keeping your right leg bending forward. Inhale back to warrior two. Sinking a little bit lower. Exhale, right knee to right elbow to right knee, left hand inhaling up and over top of your head. Option to look underneath your left elbow. Making sure that you're not dumping into your right knee, that you're lifting your body out off of your right elbow, and you could almost just let your right hand float all the way up if you wanted to. That's how much pressure you're putting into your right knee. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, windmill your arms down either side. Step back to plank and go through your vinyasa. Simply skip it all and come back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths in downward facing dog, or option to release all the way down to child's pose. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. One more deep breath in. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Coming back up into downward facing dog. Looking forward, walking, stepping, or jumping to the front of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold, making sure your feet are hip distance apart. Reaching for opposite elbows. Bending your knees, crown towards the ground in a standing forward fold. Making sure you're not holding your head up. The back of your neck is smooth. No extra tension where there doesn't need to be. Option to sway from side to side. Inhale to halfway lift. Walk your toes out and take your toes almost out to both sides of your mat. We're going into a wide-legged squat. And then releasing your hands to the mat and squatting all the way down. So I'm going to turn and face you. So your heels are together, your toes are out, and you have lots of space. And it's okay if your heels don't go towards the ground. Option for you to sit on a block if that's more comfortable. Okay, so either way. And oftentimes we've lost that flexibility in our ankles, And this is one of the most beautiful ways to bring it back, even when it's not comfortable. So inhaling your hands to heart center, pressing your palms together, finding some resistance between your elbows and the inside of your knees, rising up through your crown, broadening through your collarbones. Placing your right hand down and inhaling your left arm up, pressing into your right palm, reaching up through your left fingertips. Option to look up with your gaze, opening through your pelvis at the same time. Exhale your hand down, place your left hand down, and inhale your right arm up and over top of your head. So using your left elbow as leverage to open your body up to the right hand side. Exhale your hands down and raise your hips to the sky into a standing forward fold. Walking your feet back into hip distance. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, arms, hands to heart center. So turning your body and taking a big step down the long edge of your mat, making sure that your feet are on the same line. So hands are on your hips, toes and your heels are on the same line. Inhaling to create length, tucking your shoulder blades behind you, hands on your hips. Inhale to create length, exhale, hinging at your hips, folding forward, halfway down. So feel free to bend your knees. If you're like me, I'm a bit of a hyperextender. So reaching out through your crown, and then releasing your hands to the mat, and releasing your head all the way down. Walking your hands between your feet, a little wider than shoulder distance apart. Bending your elbows, sitting bones towards the ceiling, crown towards the ground. So knowing that when you get in a posture, if you don't feel you're in the right position, your legs can move. So just taking a moment to either bringing your feet farther apart or walking them in a little bit can make a big difference. Breathing deep, walking your hands forward, hands underneath your face, coming up to halfway lift. Inhale your right arm up, twisting all the way to the right, just like we did in our squat. Exhale, bring your right hand through underneath your left arm. Bring it all the way over to either your left knee, your left calf, or your left ankle, and walk your left fingertips forward as if they're going to go towards a down dog. So pressing forward with the left fingertips, releasing your head down towards the ground, pressing back through your sitting bones, and at the same time, keeping your hips in the center between your feet and pressing with your right hand onto your left calf. Breathing deeply, widening all the way through your rib cage. Walking your left fingertips in, back onto your face, releasing your right hand underneath your face, and inhaling your left arm up and over top of your head. So pressing down into your right palm, lifting up on your left fingertips, and finding the space that works for you. So your left hand might not be all the way towards the ceiling. You might actually have your hand on your back body, directly over top of your sacrum, as if you have your hand in your back pocket, or if you have the space in your shoulder, reach all the way up. Exhale, weave your left hand through underneath your right, come all the way over to your right leg. Find the place where you're going to hold on to. Take a nice big grip, and then walk your right fingertips out forward of your body, as far forward as you go, tented fingers. Press into your right fingertips, press back through your sitting bones, center your pelvis, and press your left hand into your right shin. Breathe deeply into your rib cage, widening your ribs as you're breathing. Walking your right hands back, Placing both your hands shoulder distance apart, coming into a halfway lift, and just starting to bring your right toes out a little bit. So just walking them out a little bit, not so that they're completely facing forward on either side of your mat, but just a little bit. And then starting to bend into your right knee, allowing your whole body to lunge into your right hand side. Walking your hips over. So keeping your full left foot in contact with the ground. And the reason I had you walk your toes out is I want your knee to track in the same direction as your toes. Okay, so coming as low as you can. Inhale back to center, walking your left leg over. Exhaling, going to the left hand side. Starting to move, staying nice and low. So bending your legs, sweeping all the way across. And when you get there, start to walk all the way back to the other side. So this side lunging, these are the reasons that we strengthen our hips. Because these are the things that we start to lose as we get older. So as my friend Dr. Heather says, what would your inner elder want? Your inner elder would want to be able to get up off the floor when he or she is 80 years old. So instead of going away from the things that our body feels is uncomfortable, we want to find a way to play in that space so that we don't lose it. The next time that you're all the way to the right-hand side, go a little deeper into your right-hand side. And if it's available to you, let your left toes come towards the ceiling. Sitting up nice and tall. So it's almost like the right side of your body is back in the squat position. My right elbow is pressing firmly into my right knee. And I'm doing my best to rise up through my crown. You might have some other version of that, and that's okay. Feeling the stretch all the way down this left side. Placing your left hand back down, left foot back on the ground, lunging all the way to the left-hand side. Option to sit all the way to the left-hand side and raise the right toes towards the ceiling. Same thing on this side, finding the balance between effort and ease. And everybody has different mechanics in their hips. Some things are very available in one plane and not in another, and that's okay. Pressing your left elbow into your inner left thigh, sitting up a little bit taller. Exhale, placing your right foot all the way down on the ground, coming back to center and coming forward into a forward fold. Walking your hands any amount between your legs. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhale, walking your hands all the way towards the left foot, keeping it forward, and then hinging and stepping your right foot forward to the front of the mat. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling to rise. Hands together, look up. Exhale all the way into heart center. And bending your knees, sitting all the way back down. Once you get your glutes on the ground, feet are hip distance apart, starting to roll back, one vertebrae at a time. As slow as you can go. Try and keep the soles of your feet on the ground, even slower. Pausing, and keep going. And when you get all the way down, inhaling your knees up, give them a big squeeze while you exhale. Letting your hips rock from side to side. Closing your eyes. Still in your body, bringing your legs back underneath. Knees are hip distance apart. Bring your feet closer to your glutes, setting up for two versions of bridge pose. This time when we go up into bridge, let me just move the dog toys. This time when we go up into bridge, we're gonna place our hands together, the palms of our hands together, and start to bring our shoulder blades underneath our body. So placing your hands to start on either side of your body, taking a deep inhale, and as you exhale, press down into your feet, lifting your hips up. Option to interlace your hands underneath your body and start to tip onto one shoulder, then the other, bringing your shoulder blades directly under you. Pressing into your feet, lifting up through your hips. Having your chest rise towards your chin. Rise a little bit more. Feeling your feet press down, front of your thighs are engaged. And exhale, releasing your hands and rolling down one vertebrae at a time. As we go into the second set, you have two options. You have the option to do what we just did. Your second option is to use a block or a set of books or some prop to place that's solid underneath your pelvis. So the option would be to use it on the wide length underneath your hips and your pelvis, releasing your hips into it, and even walking your feet out a little bit so your knees are coming in, and just relaxing your arms. If you go on the highest setting, putting it in line with your sacrum, so it's going to be like this. So if that's comfortable for you, just making sure that you are relaxing through your neck and not putting any pressure into your cervical spine. Third option is, if it's in your practice, is to go into wheel. So I'm not going to cue it today because I'm not there to support anybody, but if you have wheel in your practice, feel free to do that as well. So setting up for your version, pressing down into your feet, inhale, rising up, and if you're coming with me into regular bridge, I'm going to interlace my hands. Whatever posture you're in, pressing into your feet, lifting up a little higher, taking a deep breath into your chest, feeling the effort of your legs. One more deep breath. And exhale, releasing your arms, coming all the way back down. Placing your feet on either side of your yoga mat, letting your knees knock in, and resting your palms on your belly. Close your eyes. Walking your feet back to hip distance apart. Inhale, bring your knees into your chest, setting up for happy baby, or simply bringing your knees to your armpits. Reaching through between your legs, holding on to the outside of your feet. Bending your knees to 90 degrees, flexing your feet, and drawing your knees towards your armpits and lengthening your tailbone towards the front of your mat. Bring your knees nice and wide, and gently rocking from side to side, nurturing your lower back, making sure that there's no tension that's translating into your jaw or your face. Releasing your legs, placing your hands behind your thighs, and starting to rock back and forth up your spine. And when you're ready, rocking all the way up, coming into a sitting position. This might be a good place, as we're going into a few forward folds, to use your blanket. So if your lower back is quite tight, and when you stretch, you find yourself in this position here, you're going to want to use the edge of your blanket on the edge of your sitting bones. So the idea is not to sit fully up on the blanket, it's to sit on the edge of the blanket. And in doing so, it starts to rock your hips forward so that when you stretch forward, you can do it with a flat back. I know it's frustrating when you sort of feel like you're hanging out here. So experiment with the props that you have at home so that you can get the stretch that you need. So starting off with Shavasana, I want you to lengthen your right leg forward, directly out from your hip, flex your right toes, and bring your heel of your left foot in towards your body. So squeezing your left knee, sitting up nice and tall. Exhaling, left knee open to the side. Bring your left sole inside your right thigh, sitting up nice and tall. So inhaling to start. Exhaling to fold forward, leading with your chest, walking your hands forward any amount. If you have the option, you can hold onto your feet. Inhaling, let it be dynamic. So inhaling to create some length and exhaling to fold forward. And if you're that person that feels tremendous tension in the back of your back body, bend your knee. So bend your knee, but keep your foot flexed. So that will allow you to reach forward and hinge forward. So wherever you are, making sure that as you forward fold, you're as straight as possible through your back body. And now release your head down into a passive pose. And if it feels comfortable, let your body round forward any amount. Inhale, walk your body up. Bring your right knee in, lengthen your left leg. So pressing out through the heel of your left foot, flex your left foot, bring your right foot close to your sitting bones, sit up nice and tall. Hold onto your knees, sit up, pressing into your sitting bones, rising through your crown. And exhale, let your right knee open to the right hand side, the sole of your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Inhaling to create length and exhaling to come forward. So starting off a little bit more actively, leading with your chest, doing your best to be straighter through your lower back. And when you're ready, letting it become passive, folding all the way forward, rounding through your back body, releasing your head to the mat. Inhale, walking your body back up and bending your left leg to meet your right, the soles of your feet together, and drawing your heels towards your sitting bones. Mentally just opening your knees up to either side, holding onto your feet, rising up through your crown to create some length. Exhaling to fold forward, using the inner line of your thighs, pressing into your elbows, opening up your hips, breathing deeply, expanding the width and the breadth of your chest. Now letting it be passive, option to walk your hands forward any amount, and rounding through your back body, releasing your head towards the ground. Inhale, walking your hands up. Just gonna turn. Exhale, rolling down one vertebrae at a time, same way as we did before. Keeping your chin tucked in all the way, slow as you can go. And when you get all the way down to the body, all the way to your back body, bringing your knees into your chest, squeezing them in, lengthening out your right foot all the way, your right leg all the way to the ground, flex both your feet. And exhale, bring your left knee across your body all the way towards the floor. And lengthen your left arm out to the side, shoulder height or below. An option to take a look over your left shoulder. Feeling the length of your sideways twist. And finding the balance between letting your left knee fall to the ground and having your back of your left shoulder in contact with the ground. Inhale your knee back up. Bring both your knees to your chest, squeezing them in. Holding onto your right knee, lengthening your left leg all the way down towards the ground, flexing both your feet, and letting your right knee come across your body all the way to the ground, lengthening your right arm. Option to keep your left hand on top of your left knee. Sending your breath into each one of the articulations of your ribs. Softening through your heart space. Inhale, come back to center. Bring both of your knees in, squeezing your knees in, and your chest, your forehead all the way into your knees. Squeeze into a little ball. And exhale, release your head back to the mat. And do whatever movement or postures you want to do to get yourself ready to come into Shavasana. So whether you windshield wipe your legs from side to side, or you want to put on a shirt or grab your blanket, when you're ready in your time, setting yourself up for Shavasana. So making sure you have lots of space between your feet, lots of space between your side body and your hands. Let your toes flop out to the side. Option to open your palms to the ceiling, or simply to bring your palms, left palm to your heart, right palm to your belly. Closing your eyes. Feeling the weight of your body being supported by the earth. Reading a poem called Breathe In and Breathe Out by Dana Falds. Breathe in spaciousness and acceptance of what is. Breathe out resistance, breathing possibility and optimism. Breathe out fear and doubt. Breathe in ease. Breathe out the need to change the way this moment is unfolding. Breathe in the certainty that what we really are is so much bigger than pain and suffering. Breathe out limitation and conditioning, and breathe in divinity and openness. Breathe out a prayer of thanks that even in the midst of difficulty, there is awareness. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling through your mouth. Bringing your knees into your chest, rolling onto your right hand side. Drawing your knees in close to your chest and cradling your head onto your right arm. Pause for a moment. When you're ready, pressing into your left palm, pressing your body up, eyes closed, into a cross-legged seated position. Sitting up tall, resting your palms into your lap. broadening your chest. Noticing the difference. Keeping your eyes closed, bringing your hands, palms together in front of your body, and start to press your hands together, pushing your hands back and forth, creating some heat between your palms, going a little faster, pressing a little bit harder. And when you're ready, cupping each one of your hands, the palms over top of your eyes. Releasing your hands. Inhaling your hands up and over top of your head, palms together. Exhaling your palms through heart center, bowing your head deeply. Thanking yourself for showing up for yourself today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Such is life. You're so welcome, Beverly. A few technical issues, maybe some sequencing issues. That's okay. I so appreciate all your energy and for everyone who showed up here today and for all of you who are going to be joining us on a replay. You have no idea how much it means to me, and I know you don't know this, but Paul's practicing on the other side here as well. And I think this is one of the ways that we can be in this together. So much appreciation for all of you, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, Debbie.